Yes, text B for no to 622-639, and you can always go to our blog at ed.msnbc.com. Results coming up later on in the program. Joining me now is R.T. Rybak, Mayor of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Vice Chair of the Democratic National Committee. R.T., good to have you with us tonight. I find it interesting, you bet. I find it interesting that the Tea Party can't come up with a credible candidate, but they can raise hell in the House and stop everything. Where does this all end, in your opinion?
Well, you know, they send poor Boehner out to try to dress this thing up, but he talks about kicking the can down the road. The can that's getting kicked belongs to the American middle class, and the can that should get kicked this November belongs to the Tea Party Republicans who hold the entire country hostage. They have had months to be able to demonstrate to America that they actually do stand up for tax cuts for the middle class, and they have done everything humanly possible to find any way to stand in the way of a tax cut for the American middle class. So this January, everybody's taxes are going to go up $1,000 a piece.
But don't you
Talk to me about who believes in tax cuts. It sure isn't the Republican Party right now.
But I'm going down the road of personalities here. Don't the Tea Party members know that Boehner is gutless and they can just move him any way they want to move him? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think Boehner is being moved like a chess piece by the Tea Partiers, and this is going to continue until moderate, realistic Republicans stand up. Now, where is Mitt Romney on this, okay? Mitt Romney said that the $1,000 tax cut that the president was proposing here was a quote-unquote Band-Aid. All right, maybe it's a Band-Aid to Mitt Romney, but it's a big deal to the American people. Why doesn't he, at this critical point, show leadership and stand up? If he's not going to do it now, how in the world could he do it in the White House?
Well, there seems to be a friction starting now between the Republicans in the Senate and the House. Republican Scott Brown, Senator of Massachusetts, blasted House Republicans today. He said the House Republicans plan to scuttle the deal to help middle-class families is irresponsible and wrong. Why do you think House Republicans are sabotaging the economy? What do they have to gain at this point when the country wants to add jobs?
Because they're betting on a very cynical idea that somehow if this doesn't work, people will again say, quote unquote, Washington doesn't work. Washington isn't broken. The Republican Party is broken, it's fractured, and it's being held hostage by a few extremists. Now, some have guts, like you just said, who'll stand up and say that. But the fact of the matter is, they're banking on the fact that people will say, oh, it's just, quote unquote, Washington again. Yeah. And if all of us buy into that, that's the problem. So the reality is, you had a president who stood up with the Recovery Act, who laid out all sorts of things that the Republicans had been for before. Now they've all voted against them. So we know exactly where they stand. They would rather put politics ahead of the economy. R.T.
Rybak, always a pleasure. Good to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much. Now let's turn to MSNBC political analyst Richard Wolff. Richard, good to have you on with us tonight. Another vulnerable Senate Republican went after House Republicans today.